I was listening to the Unsolved Mysteries podcast on the drive, and it's kind of depressing and sad. And it's unsolved mysteries, and most of them are murders. But every once in a while, they'll throw in some kind of paranormal story. And this one was about a guy who bought a house, and it had some kind of evil spirit, demon, something was in there. And the guy spent more than a decade fighting this demon till finally, at least if you believe his story, through exorcisms and doing all this stuff, he was able to vanquish this force of evil. Kind of story is kind of impossible the way D&D is written. When you get to D&D and kind of spirits of that sort, there's no answer for them as a normal type, unless you run into a magic weapon, even for an adventure. So you get a spell or magic weapon, or you have a cleric that gets up high enough level. But in popular culture, we do have answers for these things because they show up in films and movies and stories and things all the time. I've watched a lot of those paranormal shows, and on those shows, whether you believe them or not, they usually have some kind of focus, something that you can find. And when you find that focus, that tends to be, so they say, some kind of connection that's either keeping the spirit here or doing something. It's some kind of and I'm just going to call it an anchor, that there's an anchor for this thing that is in our world that allows it to exist or allows it to keep it tethered. Maybe it takes an inordinate amount of energy for these creatures to continually impact the material plane. People who are horribly hurt and murdered, the battlefields where people are slain, something really horrible has happened, and that trauma, maybe collectively, or it's so powerful from an individual, creates that anchor maybe at that spot. My opinion here is, one, if you don't have a cleric, or you don't have magic weapons, you can think about, well, it's not just a lost cause, run away. I mean, we might need to run away, we're actually in combat, but if we've been tasked with, you got to clear this battlefield because we want to put in a golf course, okay, boss, but we don't have a cleric, we don't have magic weapons, we're first level, you have options. There are things you can do. You can deal with an undead in a way that isn't just fighting it, and then it's also a way you can deal with it when you can't fight it. Hey, we can't take out this mummy lord, but if we can find out what's keeping this mummy lord here, then we can solve it. It gives us an angle. And I think that angle is often more interesting than just the fighting it. Finding out why the mummy lord is here and then figuring out, can we do the thing? Can we find the person? Can we do whatever? That to me is more fun.